My 31 male girlfriend, 29 female, broke up with me because of my constant pregnancy fears.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I have been with my girlfriend Lily for 7 years now. We overall have a great relationship, and I know I love her very much. For the past 3 years, she's been pushing for a proposal. She wants to start a family soon and have many kids, at least 3. I'm not sure if I ever want to get married, but I know I don't want my life without her. She keeps asking if I ever plan to do it, and I usually dismiss her because, in all honest, talking about it gives me anxiety.
Oh my God.
Now, the reason she broke up with me is because this month she had a pregnancy scare. She was 2 days late, and we saw a very fainted line. I was freaking out because I'm not ready to get married, let alone be a father. Now, I'm not sure if I want kids at all. I don't see myself as that father figure. I'm all up for being the fun uncle and have fun with them, but when it comes to actually have one of my own, I don't want it.
That's fine. That's fine. Just don't be in a relationship with someone who wants all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I freaked. I kept waking her up at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., asking her to please go to the hospital so we can have blood work done to be sure if she was pregnant. She said she wasn't going to do that she wasn't probably pregnant since she did have an IUD and I pulled out. But I read online that there can always be a chance. It's not 100% guaranteed that you won't get pregnant. I kept badgering her to go, and she got mad at me, saying that this would be the 5th time she's going to the hospital to get tested because I believe she's pregnant. 5th time. This is only the first long paragraph, by the way, so if you're not strapped in, you better fucking strap in. Yes, this has happened in the past, and I usually freak out because I know I'm just not ready to have kids. Maybe one day I will want them, just not now. We went to the hospital, and she wasn't pregnant. I was relieved to say the least. Later that day, she told me she wants to break up. That she can't handle this every month, that even if I didn't freak out about pregnancy, she wants to be with someone that doesn't stress her out and keep her calm. That she wants someone who knows what they want. That I had told her when I was 25 that I wanted kids and made her feel secure about this. When I was 24, she was 23. I told her I never wanted to have kids. She tried breaking up with me, saying it wouldn't work long term if we wanted different things. But then I changed my mind and told her that I will want kids when I'm 30. But now I realize I probably said that so she wouldn't break up with me.
What an asshole.
That she can't even talk to me about proposing because I always dismiss her, and she truly believes I don't plan on it.
This poor woman.
I think I'll propose eventually, but I'm just too lazy to buy a ring and do the whole proposal thing.
Bruh.
That's the first part.
Oh my God.
All right, you ready?
This guy is just exhausting in general. Like, the problem is over. The problem is done. She's breaking up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is advice. He wants advice.
Oh my God.
More backstory.
Oh.
Before I limited sex to once every 2 months because of how paranoid I was getting about her getting pregnant every month, even though we used a condom, it was a constant struggle every month waiting for her period to make sure she wasn't pregnant. We worked out on this, and that's why she got the IUD. But then I read that there's still a 2% chance of failure after pregnancy. I don't know how to get over this pregnant paranoia. I don't want to lose her, and now I realize that having kids is better than losing her. But I still don't know. That's not good. That's not a good having kids and not being there for them just so she won't leave you.
This guy is so this guy needs therapy real bad.
This is Barry.
Yeah.
She left the apartment and went to stay with her parents, and I am distraught right now. She also told me that there's more reasons why she wants to break up, that I never made her feel beautiful. I tell her to change her clothes if they made her look fat if we were visiting my family.
Oh my God.
But my family is very into appearance and being fit. She also says that she hates not being able to go out and celebrate things. Yes, I limit going out to 3 times a year because even though we both make good money, we live in a very expensive city and there's no point in going out when we can cook at home. I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose her, but she seems very set in this decision. Has anyone never wanted kids but then changed their mind? I think I might want them, but definitely not now. Maybe when I'm 34 or 35. What can I do to get my girlfriend back? What can he do to get his girlfriend back?
That's like, there's so many problems. Am I the asshole for not wanting my husband to go to his high school reunion? And my husband...
As someone who also isn't going to go to my high school reunion? Fucking no, baby.
Well, Wait a minute.
All right. Oh, okay. Shit.
Me and my husband have known each other since I was 13 years old, and before we went from best friends to dating, he was in a 3.5-year relationship with a girl from his class in high school. They basically dated all throughout high school and were very important to each other. But eventually he realized it wasn't right, as our love for each other has always been more than friendly. We were just lying to ourselves not to lose the friendship. Not to lose our friendship. He admitted his feelings for me and broke up with her, but it was super hard for him at the time, and she was furious with the both of us, which I understood. But I knew we belonged together, and so did he. This was the right thing to do. Since then, neither of us had seen or heard from her. We dated for 3 years before getting married, and we've been married for 2 years now. So it's been 5 years since this whole thing. But now that his high school reunion is coming up, the bitter feelings came back to me, and I told him I don't feel comfortable with him going. Not only because she is going to be there, but also because of the whole class who've known them as a couple. I feel uneasy even imagining him back in that group, remembering those years. He completely understood and agreed not to go, but now I wonder if I'm being petty. Am I the asshole?
Ooh.
I don't know, because at one hand I'm like, why do you care?
Yeah, especially
anymore?
for like, I mean, I guess like my kicker is
You've been
like,
with him for 5 years.
You've been with him for 5 years. It's been 5 years since it's been 5 years since high school. Is
Yeah.
that what it is? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been 5 years since high school. Jesus, it's been fucking 5 years since I'm old as fuck.
Yeah, it's been more than 5 years for
fucking
me.
Jesus.
It's just some
Yeah, I
youngins.
didn't get invited. But yeah, no, fucking I don't.
They're probably not having it because of COVID.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, I get the feeling. I understand the feeling, but I think there's a bit of like, I would assume if I were to theoretically go to high school reunion,
Yeah.
I wouldn't walk up to everyone and be like, why aren't you dating that person from high school?
Right.
That's
It's
the
like,
one thing that I'm kind of
Of
like,
course you're not. We're all different. That's the whole point.
how dare all of you guys,
Why are you different?
how are you different? How are you guys not in Mr. Johnson's fifth period anymore? You know, I think that's
Guys,
a little.
it's 3 p.m.
It's 3 p.m. It's time to go,
Yeah,
guys.
it's time to leave school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Why
else,
are we here?
Yeah. We got to get to the school reunion at 7. No. Yeah. No. It's I mean, I get the feeling though. I understand the feeling. I think it's a little much.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
I think it's an insecurity.
It's probably just an insecurity, but I'm also like, I'm not gonna blame you.
I promise you, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I think
Everyone's
everybody
too
else is
involved in their own lives.
married
Yeah.
to somebody else or dating somebody else, worried about their own lives. Honestly, she's probably moved on about it. If she hasn't, that's fucking weird.
That's weird. Yeah.
And that would be why I wouldn't go.
That would be what not to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, the asshole for not caring my new roommate is uncomfortable with my axes, knives, and archery equipment.
It should be titled, Am I the asshole for thinking my roommate is lame because they are?
And then dabbing it on your skateboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a university dorm, and my former roommate moved out as he is going on Erasmus. So I had a new guy. I don't know what the fuck Erasmus
What the fuck
is.
Erasmus?
Erasmus. That's how you. Is that how you say it?
I think I've heard of that, but I don't really know what that is. Somebody in the comments will know.
Yeah. I live in a university dorm. My former roommate moved out. He's going on Erasmus. So I had a new guy living in my dorm. He moved in and immediately told me I had to find a new place for my stuff because it makes him uncomfortable. He doesn't like I have a bunch of knives, 2 axes, and 3 bows. I do archery a lot on my free time, almost weekly. I also go camping at least once a month. I told him I don't give a fuck if this makes him uncomfortable and he can move somewhere else.
Oh my god.
Apparently he didn't want to, as most rooms don't have their own bathrooms. Most are 2 rooms per bathroom.
Yeah.
He threatened to get administration involved. I told him to go ahead. Administration didn't give a shit. He ended up moving out to a different dorm building altogether. I don't like his hentai shirts and poster, nor did I like the way some of the food he cooked smelled, but I never bitched about it. He took nasty shits, too. Like, I could smell it when he was shitting. None of my 3 other roommates had this issue. None of my 3 former roommates over the past few years ever had an issue with this, though was spelled miscorrectly, by the way.
Nice.
I actually never had any conflicts with them, so I think the problem is just with him. He talks major shit about me in that dorm, saying I'm a psychopath and that I am a threat to public safety or some bullshit like that. My friend lives there and heard him. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not spending time with my father and stepmother? I, an 18 female, am currently in my graduating year of high school and struggling through a tough semester. Recently, I have found myself not wanting to talk to my father, a 51 male, or stepmother, a 48 female, and I've been feeling really guilty about it. But at the same time, I don't.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
My father and stepmother are the type of people who feel very strongly about their opinions, whether it's politics, COVID restrictions, etc.
Oh, God.
They like to share them with everyone they know, including myself. It's gone to the point where it seems as though their opinions have become their entire personalities, and I don't know how much longer I can take it. To have a better understanding of my experience, here's a quick example. When I turned 15, my father was already hounding me to get my learner's license, so once I turned 17, I could get my normal license and drive on my own. This was because he was so tired of having to drive 45 minutes to an hour to pick me up from my mother's house and drive all the way back to his place, which was located in a busy city area. I know this because he said it right to my face, making me feel as though I wasn't worth the drive over.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Jesus. This was hard for me because I wasn't mentally prepared to get my learner's license at 16 years old. He didn't understand my feelings, and because of this, it bothered him so much. I didn't get my license until a few months ago, and even then I wasn't ready to drive all the way to his place on my own in such busy conditions. I felt I needed more practice.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah, like, fuck, man. We have a I-4 and 408 around here. It took me, like, a while to get used to.
Dude, I took driving lessons because I was similar. I didn't want to actually... I'll do this later.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Last time my stepmother picked me up and brought me to see them, I had planned to pop out and surprise him that I was there. Instead of being happy I was there, he continued to complain that I didn't drive myself over.
Oh my God.
This made me feel really bummed out in that moment. I wish I did drive myself so I could pack my things and leave. Even though I drive by myself now, I still have to listen to them bitch and complain about the rest of their opinions when I visit, including about me taking a year off before going to college. That's another rabbit hole, and I will spare you the details. You probably have a good idea what it's about.
Yeah.
I get it. Fuck, I'm a dropout. Nowadays, visiting my father...
Well, gap year's not a dropout.
I mean, yeah, true, yeah.
No, that's just... Okay, go ahead.
No, sorry, yeah. Nowadays, visiting my father and stepmother feels more like a chore rather than a pleasant visit. I've been using my job in schooling and housework as an excuse to not see them, and I don't often pick up the phone to call them, which, by the way, they get mad at me for, even though they can easily pick up the phone and call me themselves, but apparently that's only my job.
Holy shit.
Whenever I visit them, I feel as though my own opinion doesn't matter, and they are always trying to, quote, educate me of their opinions. Once there, I can't escape the never-ending complaining, and it makes it harder to want to see them, despite the fact that I do love them and want to see them, along with the rest of my stepfamily. But I don't want to listen to them shove their opinions down my throat to try and make me think like them, when all I want to do is spend time with them and my family. Am I the asshole?
No, honey.
Am I the asshole for telling my sister that I don't care about how her wedding turns out?
Fun. Can't wait.
My 29 male sister, 26 female, has always been incredibly spoiled. It's always her way or the highway, so I knew that when she got engaged, she would be a handful. Her wedding is coming up in about a year, and she has already started planning. That bitch.
That fucking bitch doing planning for her own wedding.
She sat us all down, my father, mother, father, and my other sister, and told us what they had decided for the theme. Now, personally, I think it's a little tacky to put a theme on a wedding. But it's not my wedding, so I held my tongue.
Yeah, it's not your wedding. Shut up.
Her theme was nature, and this was applied to everything.
That's a normal theme for a wedding.
She wanted a floral lace dress, that's in quotes, by the way, succulents as flowers, and for the ceremony to take place in a greenhouse-based cool
That sounds cool as shit. Awesome. Also, floral laced is like a normal wedding type dress.
But no, it's floral lace dress.
Like if you go into Kleinfeld's and say yes to the dress and you say, I want floral lace, they're going to be like, okay, great.
Fucking
here's
big wardrobe.
20 of them. Yeah.
Pick like your flavor, baby.
It's very normal.
Yeah. Again, tacky, but not my wedding.
It's not tacky.
So I didn't say anything. Except on Reddit. The issue arose when it came time to talk about the reception venue. She said that she wanted it to be outdoors in one of those huge event tents with windows so that we could be in nature.
That's cute.
My whole family hated this idea. An outdoor reception just seems very cheap and not at all classy. We suggested that she go with something a little more classic, like an event venue, but she had her mindset. I got really upset because the entire family was telling her that they would prefer one thing, and she was insisting she do another when she was literally the only person who wanted it, the bride.
Is she the one paying?
Probably.
Yeah.
She's the bride.
So she can do what she wants, huh?
Never one to take advice. My sister just said that she's sorry we feel that way, but her and her fiance have wanted this for their wedding for years, and they spent a lot of time coming up with the details together, and they wanted their wedding to reflect their personalities and who they are as a couple. That's in quotes, so apparently that's whatever. Fucking. And she didn't think my timeless suggestions would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Here's where I might be the asshole.
Oh, okay. This one. Not anything before this.
I kind of let my frustration get the better of me and said, fine, I don't care if your wedding turns out to be tacky. I knew you were going to be an inflexible bridezilla anyway. I do think that she was being too rigid and just thinking about what she would like instead of what her family and guests would prefer.
It's her wedding.
But my parents say that it's my sister's wedding and that it wasn't cool to say that I didn't care.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Am I the asshole for not telling my sister where I go? This is somewhat long, but I feel like I need an outside perspective since my friends are kind of biased on the whole thing.
Okay.
I, 24 female, share an apartment with my older sister, 26 female. For some background, me and my sister have always had a somewhat off relationship. There are times when we could be the best of friends, and other times, more often than I would like, she would act like she knew everything, and no matter what the subject could be, I was wrong and she was right.
Oh, God.
Good sister, good friend.
Yeah.
Despite how our relationship was, I agreed to moving in with her because staying in the house of my parents wasn't cutting it anymore, and my sister knew that and felt the same way. She's a teacher and coach and was able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment with an additional $300 from my parents to pay for me as well as me paying for cable and power.
That's nice.
While I didn't have the best paying job, I was fine with the agreement and we moved in early 2022. Now for conflict. I am a big concert goer for different punk rock bands. Since most of the artists and bands I like are on the smaller size of fans, they will often not come to my city, or if they do, are in a small venue that costs about $30 for a ticket. That's a good deal for a ticket.
Heck yeah.
This year, almost every band I like and listen to is coming to my city, and of course I was going to as many as I could. The first show was in late February, and I knew that I was the only one out of my friend group who liked their stuff, and it was at a venue I was familiar with, so my plan was to go alone and meet up with some other fans that I became friends with on Discord. It was a few days before that show when I had bought my other ticket for another concert that next month, when I asked my sister if she wanted to go with me to this one, as I knew she was a fan of the artist. She said no because she didn't know who else would be there, didn't know where it was. I told her where as it was the same place as my first show, and that she wasn't comfortable walking around downtown at night. This is the same thing she tells me every time I try to invite her to do anything with me. To add insult to injury, when she was in Alabama for college, she would go out to different clubs until 3 a.m. and only went with her because her friends asked, and since coming back, she complains to me about not having friends and staying inside all the time.
Sounds like Alabama.
Yeah. But I brushed it off and didn't push it. She asked me what I was going to do and I said I would ask another friend, and if he didn't want to go, I would just go alone. She immediately blew up at me saying that I could not go unless I was with someone else, i.e. not her. I told her that I would be fine and I already bought the ticket, but she didn't let it go. This argument continued with her pointing out that I'm a girl on the smaller size and me countering about the amount of knives and tasers I carry because I think they're neat. Things ended with her saying that if I went by myself, she would tell her father, who she knew was one of the reasons we both left the house. Nothing terrible, just productive and strict. I said fine and left it at that. On the day of my first concert, I told her and my family I was going to be with my best friend, who will be G for the story. Beforehand, I had told G the plan, and like a great best friend, she had my back. The show was great. I got to meet the artists and made some more friends at the show. When I got home, I said I was with G and we moved on. Since then, I realized my sister wasn't on my side for things and stopped telling her about where I was going and who I'm with. My friend was able to go with me to the other show, but since then, I have gone to 3 other shows, Pride as well as the club with G and her fiance. On each occasion, I've had a blast and have been able to make friends as well as have the chance to be an adult in her early 20s. I know my sister means well, but it's kind of hypocritical of her to be upset about me going out when she did the same thing in a much more dangerous place and only tell us about this after she had done it, and knowing because she wouldn't get in trouble because of the distance. So am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not wanting my future father-in-law at my wedding? The first time I showed up at his house to meet him, one of the first things he said was that he wishes that people had to strip naked to be let into his home so he could stop wondering what they look like. Do I need to continue?
What the fuck?
Do I need to continue? This is
first time?
too vaguely similar to the other one that I think had the same premise. I don't think it's the same exact same, but like, Jesus Christ.
Men gotta stop.
Men gotta fucking stop. During COVID, we were all confined into the house where I quickly realized he was heavy on the drinking. In the evenings, his family knew the drill and would ignore him, but I wanted to make a good impression, so I would stay up and talk.
Oh.
The more he drank, the worse it would get. Asking about my chest size, bras, types of underwear I like, what I like in the bedroom, how I shave, what his own son looks like, and what he enjoys. I never answered these and would just laugh it off. He would also get quite aggressive, asking for fights to be punched, shouting at me that I was only there to break his son's heart, quote, just like his ex. The aggression got so intense he would cut our wires, try to smash our TV, and randomly move our cars off the driveway and into the road. We moved out. Good you moved out. Ever since, he has messaged abuse at my partner, saying he is throwing all his stuff to the curb, parentheses, there is none, that it's his fault people are upset in his dad's household. Most recently, I lent him money for his debt out of an account of money he left to me by my late granddad. I didn't want to imagine the abuse I'd get for refusing. Since doing this, he has said I'm controlling my partner as he has started to stand up for me every time he throws an insult my way. He almost always brings up serving in the army as an excuse for his behavior.
Okay.
We have informed his wife and family. They all say it's how he is and I should put up with it or ignore it. I'm a victim of SA, and this feels like the same way, except it's been going on for over 2 years now.
Yep.
We've moved to get out of, and he just isn't stopping. We come home to voicemails and messages of abuse. I don't want to not invite him as it may upset my partner, but I don't feel safe if I do. Am I the asshole?
I mean, is your partner still wanting to have him at the wedding?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that your partner wants that. I don't think you're not the asshole, obviously. It's weird that the fucking partner... The partner
You need to talk to your partner about this. Am I the asshole for not wanting my friend group to go back to the way it was? Trigger warning, sexual assault.
Okay, with a trigger warning like that, probably not the asshole.
Most likely. Unless it's like, now we all sexually assault each other, and I love it.
And then I'm like, what's going on? Whoa.
And everyone's like, do you want to not do this anymore? And I'm like,
let's fucking keep going.
All right. I, 19 female, had a friend group that meant a lot to me. Growing up, I never had a stable friend group and was bullied very badly and had become anxious about meeting new people and having attachment to people in general. Mood. In grade 11, I had become friends with a bunch of people who were friendly, accepting, and supported me throughout my ups and downs. I loved them. They were my second family. They made quarantine fun and didn't make me feel lonely or depressed throughout the COVID spike. Many months ago, some drama went down between me and my friend D, 20 non-binary. D was one of my best friends and we were close. They were a big part of the friend group. They were a loud, confident, and overall fun person to be around. After the summer of 2021, I was supportive yet sad when D had to leave for an internship, but knew we would hang out and catch up as soon as they returned. But when they came back, things went to hell really fast.
Oh no.
I didn't notice small things during their return. They were sometimes a little overconfident, for example. I usually dress in very revealing clothing and like how I dress. Unfortunately, that comes with stares from gross older men. When older guys would glance at me uncomfortably, D would go, "Oh my god, he was totally checking me out." This genuinely made me very uncomfortable as most of the men were 50 years old.
You're trying to hook up your friend with a 50-year-old.
Right, though.
Jesus Christ.
Another thing that did not sit well with me is when an old friend, C, 24 male, who I have now cut off, had touched my ex-boyfriend very inappropriately and had him scared I would do the same to him. We broke up because he was very anxious and due to go to university. I was thinking about reaching out to C since he was still friends with some people in the group and wanted to be neutral with him. When I told D this, they said that you will find it funny why he grabbed ex-boyfriend's thigh. In the end, I did not contact C. I didn't find grabbing someone inappropriately funny. I also started to feel unsettled by D's comment. I started to have cold feet about D, and I had finally had enough at a friend's birthday when we were all telling work stories. When it came to my turn to share, D had rudely cut me off and continuously told me how unconfident I was.
Whoa, what the fuck?
I think they meant it in a very different way, but how they said it was extremely condescending and rude. I couldn't even finish my story because D caught me off to share what they had to say, almost like they were trying to one-up me. So that night, I went home and called my friend E, 20 female, and asked for her opinion. I ended up finding out that D had been bad-mouthing me behind my back, saying I was childish and needed to grow up.
What?
This broke me a bit, considering I was already going through a lot with university, juggling 2 jobs, and commuting a 2-hour drive from my university to my hometown. For context, I have a job where my university is and a job in my hometown. Both pay super well, so I've gotten used to commuting. I had written a lengthy text to D saying how I did not appreciate how they treated me at the party, nor behind my back. D had read the text and then ghosted me.
What a surprise.
Damn.
Jesus.
I had gained a lot of trust issues from this, believing if I open up to people and share things that bother me, they will stop talking to me.
I'm sorry.
That sucks. Through some friends, I've heard that D thinks they have done nothing wrong and that I am jealous of them because they have a better life than I do.
Dick. Jesus
What a dick.
Christ.
Jesus, why? On a separate occasion, 4 months later, an old friend of mine who didn't treat me very nicely met up with me to apologize for being mean to me throughout high school.
Oh, that's good.
During this time, we saw D in the town we were meeting up at, but didn't talk to them. The next day, a friend of mine told me that D had come up to them to say that me and my ex-friend were talking shit about them and that I am a horrible person for doing so. D is weird.
Yeah, D's doing a lot of weird shit right now.
Strange behavior.
Yeah.
At this point, I was done with D and their immature behavior, so I moved on with my life and ignored them. Most of my friends in the group had talked about how this summer won't be the same, or I miss the old friend group. A lot of my friends had talked to me asking if I would put this drama aside so we can have our normal friend group back. I had told my friends that I was never apologized to and do not trust D and want to have a summer that does not involve them or any sort of drama.
Yeah.
Some friends called me a jerk for not wanting to have them back in the group or try to figure our differences out. So am I the jerk?
No.
More background to the story. Dee's mom was going through extreme medical attention and had made them very off. And the place of their internship forced a rule of keeping your emotions inside. How?
That's
could you
weird.
do
What?
that?
Yeah. Okay. I even with that context, is there more
Yeah, there's
context?
more.
Okay.
I understand that things can screw a person up, but I felt uncomfortable that the anger they had was put towards being rude to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's
yeah,
pretty much
that's
it.
a pretty bad. That's projection of like, and then also like the friend with the sexual assault.
Yeah, it's
and
fucked
that
up.
being like, ha, it's fucking epic. Like, no, that's fucking.
It's not epic.
I'm the asshole for not wanting my fiance's dad to walk her down the aisle.
Okay.
Context: me, 26 male, and my fiance's 24 female, dad, 49 male, don't have a good relationship. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. He and I don't like each other at all.
Okay.
He snoops over every personal thing and acts like he gets a say. I admit I'm not a saint either, but we just don't get along. I told my fiance I will be limiting contact with him, but she can visit, see, and talk to him whenever she wants. Alright, so wedding planning has just begun. And we agreed on everything except when I found out that my fiance was going to make her dad walk her down the aisle. Now, I understand that this part of the wedding tradition, but the thought of seeing him walking with my future bride somehow makes me feel uncomfortable.
What? Okay.
On the other hand, I also read about several brides having someone else walk them down the aisle. So I told my fiance about it, and she was shocked. See, she said she couldn't believe that I would be this selfish to try to dictate whether her dad could walk her down the aisle. She told me she loves him even if I don't get along with him, and she wants him as her father to walk her down the aisle and no one else. She said I should respect her and should respect her wish as the bride, but I said that as the groom, I wasn't feeling comfortable with it. An argument ensued, and then she still said I was being unreasonable and selfish to expect her to agree with my request. She has been cold shouldering me now, and I now feel guilty for opening up about how I felt. Am I the asshole for not wanting her dad to walk her down the aisle?
Jesus. So that's the whole thing?
That's the whole thing. No other explanation as to what's wrong with the dad.
Yeah, because like now I need to know, like, what did the dad do?
Yeah. Am I the asshole for laughing when my girlfriend suggested she would rent a box truck? The Am I the Devil title. Do you need a penis to drive a truck?
Legitimate question.
Legitimate question.
Okay.
My 32 male, girlfriend, 27 female, recently bought a house and will be moving from her current rental. We do not currently live together. I will be quite busy near her closing day as I plan to go on a trip with some buddies that week. So I told her to wait a week to move so I could help her, but she was in a rush and refused. When I asked her how she was planning on moving and if she would hire a company, she said some friends would help her and that she would rent a box truck to drive it.
Hell yeah, dude.
I thought she was joking, since I could not picture her driving a box truck. She is a tiny lady about 5'1", and she did not mean a van or anything, but really meant box truck.
Like a fucking U-Haul truck?
Yeah. The most popular way to move.
The most popular, yeah.
That everyone's done at some point.
Yeah.
I laughed as I thought she was joking, but then when she seemed serious, I told her to wait for me, as I don't want her to crash it or something. She drives a tiny Fiat 500. She got mad at me and called me an asshole when I was just concerned about her safety, and pointed out that I do not even own a car, which while true, does not mean I do not drive, as I use a rideshare rental service sometimes and often drive rentals on road trips.
Shut up.
Am I the asshole here?
Yes.
I truly could not picture someone like her driving a box truck. She has scratched her Fiat a few months ago as well.
Whoa.
Whoa, a scratch?
Well, she'll pay for it then.
Yeah.
She scratches the box truck, she'll fucking pay for it. They'll make sure of that.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to have my sister's baby? Let me explain. My twin sister can't have children due to being born without a uterus.
Oh.
Whereas I have all the parts to have kids, but I really don't want any. Being asexual and a virgin while having anxiety/depression, just the thought of being pregnant and giving birth seems so traumatic and like it would ruin all the mental health progress I've had. Everyone seems to think I should just do it and makes me feel like I'm just spare parts for her. Am I selfish for saying no and keep saying no, even though everyone is acting like I'll just change my mind when I'm older? No, you're not the asshole.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.